Hey, what's up, gang? So last video I talked about summer base training and how to start building in the tempo and some speed development with regards to middle distance runners, right? Whether it's half milers or milers, and again, half milers who can step down and run the 4x4 or step up, or milers who go down and step to 4 and 4x8 and so on and so forth. So a little bit of versatility, but what I want to do today is go over fitness indicators, how to check their fitness and keep them engaged in the fall season during cross-country season, particularly if you have middle distance runners who are not on the cross-country team, who are just getting ready for track, right? Whether because your team's big and you only have enough for a top 7 or whatever it is. They didn't make the top 7 or don't want to run cross-country. So there's a lot of different scenarios. So these are fitness tests every 4 weeks that you can implement. Plus, it's a good opportunity to keep them engaged and give your middle distance runners some things to look forward to that are more specific to the events that they're running, rather than just training them for the 5K or the 8K or the 10K and then having them transition over later. This is an easier transition point, and it's a good way of testing their fitness along the way. So before I get into this, if it's your first time here, a coach or an athlete, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I got 300 videos, a lot of stuff, a lot of important content, a lot of valuable stuff that I think you'll find really helpful and enjoyable. And I'm going to continue to put out things like this too, things that a lot of people don't talk about, that I like to talk about. So, and hopefully you find them helpful. So with that, let's get into this. I have it broken up into 2 groups. Again, your half milers, your primarily half milers, and then your milers, okay? Your milers essentially will run the 4x8, excuse the horn, the sirens in the background, the 800 meters, that motor runners that will run the 600, the 4x4 and stuff too. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 ways of testing your distance runners, particularly if you're a college coach or whatever, and you have a deep team, but you only have room for 7 on the cross-country team. What do you do with your distance runners? How do you test those folks who are already training for 5K and 8K or 10K or whatnot? So we'll get into that too. That's a little bonus for you today. So let's start this. I'm going to start with the half milers. And again, they're doing their traditional cross-country training and stuff, and by implementing the summer training program that I talk about, building into the tempo, allows it to easier transition into some more VO2 max stuff, some things at 3K pace and 5K pace, which are valuable training pieces for middle distance runners. Very valuable. Even if you do it once every 3 weeks or 2 weeks, extremely valuable. So with that, under the condition that they're training mostly for cross-country, here's week 4, okay? And I'm using a 12-week cross-country season. Let's just say September, October, November. And let's just say the cross-country season ends, whether it's states or nationals, the most important race of the season is when it ends, okay? It could be one or the other. And that's when the final test will happen, week 12. But let's just say week 4, week 8, week 12. You tailor it any way you'd like to tailor it, any way you feel it's most appropriate. So the first one for 800-meter runners, it's mile repeats. Okay, 4 times a mile at like 8K down to 5K pace. Okay, with a 4-minute recovery. So this is mostly VO2 max type stuff. And then you take a 10 or 15-minute active recovery, get some fluids, put the spikes on if they have any, get onto the track, and you run a 400-meter really, really hard. So let's just say the first 400 of your goal 800. Okay, whatever that pace is, you just have them bang it out. Okay, and this is an opportunity for these guys and gals to test each other in their specialty events. Okay, gives them things to look forward to during the cross-country season instead of just training for 3 to 4 months without any types of racing. So that's week 4. Now let's bring it back to week 8. Now we do the similar repace, but now it's 4 times 1200. So we cut the reps down a little bit. Okay, but this is going to be mostly at 8K pace down to 5K pace as well. 330 recovery, so we cut the rest by half a minute. And then they take a 10 to 15-minute active recovery, get some fluids, get the spikes, and then they're going to run a 600 meters. And you try to complement what they did 4 weeks prior for the 400. You try to run 600 at goal race pace, so goal 800 pace. So based on what their current fitness is and what their goal is. So that's week 8. Then week 12, again, let's just say it's the week of states or nationals. So you want to test them that same morning that the big race is happening. So it's like a big meet. So it's a collective meet. You can even get their teammates who aren't on the cross-country team to come and cheer them on. So it's a simulated track meet so that they get into race mode too. So this one is 4 times 1,000. So we cut these reps down. Same amount of reps, 4, but we cut the distance down. Now it's 4 times 1,000 at 5K pace with a 3-minute recovery. This is mostly VO2 max type stuff right here. And then they take, again, 10 to 15-minute active recovery. Okay, spikes, fluids, and whatnot. And then put them to the test at 800 meters. See what they can run at that point for 800 meters. You'll be surprised at how well they run this after doing some VO2 max or some other distance type of stuff as well. Their heart rate will be elevated. It'll be easier to transition them into this component, and they'll be kind of simulating running a relay after doubling after an individual race inside. This gives it a feel of that too. So that's what I do with the half milers. Now pivoting over to the milers, okay, we do the same 4 times a mile workout. Week 4 with a 4-minute recovery. Then I take 10 to 15 minute active recovery, and then they do an 800 meter effort at mile pace, whatever they want to run for the mile. Okay, 800 meters. And that's week 4. And again, the 4 times a mile with 4-minute recovery is 8K down to 5K pace. Now, week 8, it's 5 times 1,200 meters. So now we're not exceeding like 6,000 meters or 4 miles. Okay, the volume will be somewhat similar for the milers. It won't decrease as much as it will for the half milers. But again, you do what you see fit. So here it's 5 times 1,200, 6,000 meters. You take a 3:30 recovery, progressing towards, again, 8K pace down to 5K pace. Okay, then you do the same 10 to 15 minute active recovery. Strides, get the fluids in them, get the heart rate up a little bit, get the heart rate leveled off a little bit, fluids, relax, stay loose, get the spikes on. Okay, and then they test themselves at 1,200. You try to run a 1,200 at mile pace. Okay, and then week 12, again the same exact concept. The week of states nationals that same morning, they do 5 times 1,000 with a 3-minute recovery. Okay, at 5K pace now, current 5K pace. Okay, at this point they should already be training at their current paces anyway. So that's what a 1 mile time trial before the season starts does, kind of sets training paces for everybody. Okay, so it's 5 times 1,000 with a 3-minute recovery at 5K pace. Then they take 10 to 15 minute active recovery, fluids, spikes, same concept as week 4 and week 8. And then you test them at a mile, see what they can run for the mile. Whatever they run, they run. And again, this is a good thing doing this mile after that workout. It serves as a really, really good, high-quality warm-up. Okay? And then you test them at the mile, see what they run. You'd probably be surprised at how well some of the folks might run. You might even have half-milers running the mile. You might have milers run the half-mile segment. It's completely up to you as to what you feel your athletes need. But this is a great way of testing middle-distance runners, week 4, week 8, week 12 during the cross-country season. Okay, and getting them ready, keeping them focused and engaged on their training and transitioning easier into track. And then plus you'll have an idea of what they can run for track season. So instead of using the first couple meets, excuse me, as a crapshoot. So it's just something to think about. Now, I'm going to pivot over to the distance runners. Remember I said testing the distance runners twice? This is a great way of doing it too. To me, it's week 6 and week 12. It's 2 tests. Week 6, they can do a similar thing, but I'll have them do essentially a 2-mile tempo to elevate the heart rate after some strides. Elevate the heart rate, okay? Then take a 5 to 6 minute active recovery, okay? Get some spikes, get some fluids, and 1 mile time trial after a 2-mile tempo, okay? See what they run. Plus, if you need to adjust their training paces, this gives you an opportunity to do that at that point. You might have some people running significantly faster than you thought they would. Then you adjust training paces accordingly based on the new current fitness. Okay, that's week 6. Week 12, again, the day of states, nationals, whatever it is, you do something similar. 1.5 to 2 mile tempo to elevate the heart rate after a warm up and strides. Okay, and then you take a 5 to 6 minute active recovery. All right, get the spikes, get the fluids and whatnot, and then you test them. You have them race a 3K or a 2 mile. Knock it out. Race, simulate a track meet, and you'll get a really, really good idea of how their strength is, how their aerobic fitness is, based on how well they run here. And you've tested them at the shorter stuff at the mile, now you're testing them at the longer stuff, so you have an idea where their strength is, where their speed is, and the midline between the two. So this is a great way of testing it. And again, simulate a meet scenario where you'll have folks, and you can even test your middle distance runners first, right, while the distance runners cheer them on, and then when the distance runners are running their thing, the middle distance runners can cheer them on, and the rest of the team can do the same. Simulate a meet environment. This is a great way of testing your distance runners who aren't running cross-country. So, again, I'm at week 6, a mile time trial after tempo, and then at week 12, a 2 mile or a 3K race as hard as you possibly can after a tempo as well. And it also give you an idea of where they can currently run a 5K as well, a ballpark as to what their 5K fitness is, and even potentially their mile fitness. And you can see if they've progressed from the mile to the 2 mile, because the mile will tell you what they should run or should be able to run for the 2 mile. And now 6 weeks later, if they can do that or exceed it, you know they're progressing nicely. So, but I wanted to go over those things today. So I hope you found it valuable. If you did, hit the like button. Please share this with other coaches. Okay, I'm going to continue putting out tidbits and nuggets like this. So again, if you need me directly for any personalized coaching questions or insights, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. I'm here to help. Have a great week, guys. Talk to you later.